Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Daily Planet Live for the 28th of May 2011. My name is DC Raisin, here with your dose of DC news and comment. In the headlines today, we have the Dev Virtual Chat has been summarised into a rather short post on DC Source, and the main focus was on Update 3 in the Mega servers, though for the Mega servers it was rather confusing about when they were actually going to implement it. It's the same with the update, they never gave an actual date because of something to do with policy with SOE, and there's some hints into the new power sets that might be implemented later on, including things like secret identities. How many people are going to look like Clark Kent, I wonder. Added to the fact that we might be able to buy styles from the other origins, as in the tier gear. So how many people on the hero side that aren't tech are going to go buy the Dark Spectre Batsuit straight off the mark, I wonder. Though they were very vague about timings of things, so give it another couple of weeks and we might see quite a few changes. But the main thing with Update 3, it was suggested that the storyline will change from the tech origin to the meta origin storyline, which means we're going to see a shift in characterization from the Bat family to the Rogues and many other Superman characters, which is a great relief considering how much Gotham has got packed with quests lately. With that being said, it's time to move over to the next part of the show, which is Forum Watch. Now, the summary post is not on the official DCU forums, but it is something that I would dedicate this Forum Watch to, because it is a big part and a major topic of interest for everyone in the DC community. So I would recommend reading it if you have not watched or were not part of the dev chat. And if you want to watch the dev chat, it is on my channel under DCU updates, and it's on SOE's channel. I've put a link to it in the description below this video. And with that being said, it is time for the new feature, which is replacing the style feature for this episode. I'll alternate between styles and achievements. This one is the Achievinator for the Fanboy achievement, and keep in mind I play heroes mostly. I only have one villain character at level 30 that I hardly ever play, so the majority of the achievements will be based on the hero side. Once the mega servers are up, I'll debate whether or not to alternate the achievements to make the villains feel more, basically to be more equal among everything. But yeah, the first one we will go to is Superman. Okay, so Superman can be found in multiple of these places that are coming across now. I found him in near enough the last place, but basically I'm using the streets part of the map to show you more specifically where they are. So hopefully it'll help. Sometimes in these I actually use the arrow to point to a relative location, like for instance if you point to Star Labs or anywhere in particular, basically anywhere with a white dot that everyone can see. There we go, Star Labs. But yeah, these pretty much explain themselves. Most of the guides that I've seen online are actually pretty bad because the screenshots that they used for the map are all zoomed out, not using the street function. That's most likely because they didn't have the street function at that point in time. But as a general rule, I hope this will help a hell of a lot more. There we go, found him. But I tried to compile it from two sources. The first source was on the official forum, someone posting, and the second one was off DCU Wiki, which had a few extra spots that guy didn't found. Keep in mind, he had a few spots that wasn't on there either. But again, keep in mind, this isn't every spot in the game. There could be more, and if you have more, please post them underneath in the comment, because generally that would help the community significantly. And from Superman we move on to Steel. Now Steel can be found mostly around the Suicidal Slum area, and Suicidal Slums is exactly how it sounds, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's hard to comment this video because it's huge, and all I was doing was literally flying around for God knows how long, just trying to find them and try to get a proof that he will spawn in this one specific point. Sadly, I didn't find Steel until the end, and I couldn't get a recording. So that was mainly my bad. I didn't press the button when I saw him. So sorry and all. But I found him on that ledge that I'm showing now, and yeah, it's a relatively easy achievement to do. But all you have, it's just the time that it takes. It's whether you have the patience to fly around looking for them, and generally having this video will hopefully help that a little bit, giving specific areas where to find them. I think the next one is Green Lantern, if I remember correctly. Yep, there he is. I found him twice, luckily enough. He seems to be very, very common. Sorry about the Green Lantern moving backwards. The servers were a bit buggy this morning, I think. But I found him twice on this run. If I remember right, I was flying over to one of the points and spotted him along the way. And it's just like, oh, there he is. And Thingy took a caption of it. I think it's the next shot. Yep, there we go. And there's the bug again. But yeah, other than that, there's not much to this achievement really. For 25 points, finding 6 heroes, it's not very difficult to actually find them. It's just having the time and patience, like I say. But a good point using this could actually be to say, thanks to some support I had for this, my league is supporting me in doing Daily Planet Live. This is Batman, by the way. My league's supporting me in doing Daily Planet Live, and I'm going to do it at least twice a week. So I'm aiming to have one set up at least on every Wednesday, and one on the weekend, so that there's always something there for you guys to read and or listen to. And that means it also gives me a hell of a lot of achievements to go through. It gives me a hell of a lot of styles. It means that I could run this for weeks on end without any hitch, and it also means that I can keep up to date with the new styles as well. If say a patch comes out, obviously I'm going to put up a raid video roughly every time a patch comes out, hopefully, and from there I'll try and create achievements from the new content and things like that. Hopefully it'll help out quite a bit. But it's just whether or not, well, yeah, 2 a week shouldn't push it. It's just if I've got to compile things like I did today. I've spent most of the day just flying around on one of my characters when I should have been doing duos on my healer to try and gear her up. Keep in mind that the Manchester United match is on tonight, so nobody's raiding at all in my league. They're just avid Man U fans. But yeah, I should have at least 2 a week, so it means the channel should be a little bit more active than normal. This is where Nightwing would spawn from this point onwards. I found him in a very weird spot. I'll label the spot when it pops up. Sorry, I've been drinking a bit, so yeah. I got a bit of beer. Oh, there we go. That's where I spotted him. Caught him a bit late. He ran off and then did the whole, poof of smoke and bats flying away, like Batman does. But yeah, these spots seem to be roughly not that far apart and relatively easy to fly to. If you have flying, it's relatively easy to get to them. Hopefully the street views, like I've said, will help you guys out significantly. They helped me out a hell of a lot. Yeah, that's about it really, isn't it? I keep saying that's about it. It's not good. It's not good when I've done something this long in collection of data and have nothing to say about it. There's Robin. From this point on, this is where you find Robin, and this was the last person I needed to find in order to receive the achievement. I actually received the achievement one bit before, 1 point before, so I did the extra point even though I didn't need it, and I think I found him there as well. There we go, there's Robin, I think. Is that him? Yeah, I think this is the one where he jumped off the thing. Sorry for the frame rate glitches at times. It's just people messaging me over TS and things like that. Ugh. Well, actually, it's not TS. It was thingy, Skype. Yeah. But nevertheless, achievement got, whoop whoop. Hope you guys are as successful as I was with that. Hopefully you don't spend as much time as I did with that one. Seriously, trying to find Steel was a pain in the butt. Trying to find Nightwing was a pain in the ass because somebody already found him before me. I got there like a second late. And, yeah. It was hard picking out an achievement, but I thought that the fanboy one would have been the better one, considering that the sources were a bit vague and didn't give as much detail as in the street mapping views. So again, hope this has been nice, and well, a nice little guide in how to find them, and hope you enjoyed watching the Achievinator this week. And with that being said, we shall now move on to the last feature of today, which is to the Q&A. Now, for this week's question, it's been one on my league's mind for a little bit, and it is mainly, do you guys find the raid content too easy? If so, does it actually impact on how fun it is? Personally, I think it's to do with the gear. If you overgear the instance, you find it a hell of a lot easier, but it still doesn't ruin the fun of the fights, because I mean, there's a lot of really interesting mechanics in these games, and that's how I end up playing in terms of new raid content. I end up playing in the sense of I look for interesting mechanics, and finding things out about a boss is very easy for me in terms of when I look at the bare mechanic of the fight. So for instance, when you first look at the Avatar of Tech, if you look at his base mechanics in phase 1, you look at his flamethrower does a 90-degree angle from one arm, and it's always the same arm. His missile barrage always goes from the direction he's facing, and it will always turn clockwise. Things like that. You always look for those little specific things that you can do to avoid the damage. The main one I saw in that fight was in phase 2. The Scorpion always charges the person furthest away from your raid, so you can actually use that to your advantage by making a controller stand the furthest position away from the tank, and he will always charge that controller. That controller can easily roll away, and it's relatively simple. But yes, it's a typical problem of you overgearing an instance, and that instance suddenly becoming so easy. I mean, half of the time we're running Kandak without a tank, we just plow through it. Even Black Adam's becoming a piss take. The amount, yeah, it's just becoming annoying at times. Still doesn't ruin the fights though. That's the best bit. DC's done one thing that WoW has never done for me, which was it kept me interested in the raid content. No matter how generic some of the fights are, it is so fun in the amount of in so little content. They've managed to bring in so many new things. In some cases, some really interesting things. I remember the first time I did the first boss in Outer Caverns. When I first saw that bomb mechanic, the fact that I could actually kill a flashbang drone, pick up the bomb and throw it, that little physics mechanic actually blew me away, because obviously you'd never seen anything like that in WoW. And that little physics mechanic was exactly what I expected of this game to incorporate into boss fights, and it's done that perfectly. And yeah, so that's just my opinion, so it's down to what you guys think. Just leave a comment underneath or send me a mail what you think. I don't mind. I'll actually start, since I'm actually making this a weekly thing, I'm actually going to start opening these Q&As to you guys. If you send me a question, I'll try and feature it in the Q&A and see what feedback we can actually get. Other than that, yeah, I'll leave it to you guys to reply, and I'll sign off for the day. My name's been DC Raisin, and this has been the Daily Planet Live. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time.